Bob Dean.
Bob Dean.
Eric Checker.
Mike Whitmore.
Zuka Beretta.
Dan Thomas.
London Farm.
And Kate Phillips is here along with Chuck Schultz, who's making us copies right now. Do I have a, well, first of all, there's a quorum present. Do I have a motion? At this point, everyone's had a chance to see the minutes from the last meeting, the minutes from the board meeting. Do we have any questions, or do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve this.
And a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on the minutes? Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So it passes unanimously. Thank you. We're going to go right into some of these old business items, and we're going to move quickly. This is an interim meeting, so we don't have committee reports like we're normally going to have during the monthly process. So we just have some limited items, and we'll try to take comments from the audience too as we go through them. The maintenance committee, the last meeting, we had tabled the discussion on the pressure washing and painting so that we could get more information about the bids for the pressure washing and painting. At this point, everybody has a very detailed binder in front of you with a spreadsheet. Thank you, Jocks, for getting that information to Chuck, and for Chuck to get this information out to us. The information kind of speaks for itself. I know this was sent out to the board members and it's available on the website. Do we have any questions, or are we going to start with a motion at this point? Do we have any general questions?
Yeah.
Yes, Bob.
I would like to know what Jocks, of all the ones he looked at, what's his recommendation?
I think that's a good question. The question is the maintenance committee,
Which one of these is
which
your
vendors?
recommendation?
I haven't recommended anything. I received it last night, and I had time to see it just 2 minutes before the meeting, so I didn't went through that. I see that Mr. C with the Scudgerance is not on it. I don't know why. I haven't been discarded. And I start reading the contract, but without reading all the contract, we don't know. Price means nothing without reading the contract.
Okay. Chuck, maybe you can just give a quick rundown of the spreadsheet that details the bids.
That's what, should any of these vendors go to the maintenance committee?
Well, that's what Chuck's going to answer. Chuck, if you can answer, there's a question about Mr. C's. What happened to Mr. C's? Well, let me get the questions out, and then you can answer. There's a question about what happened to Mr. C's.
Yeah.
There's a question about did all of these vendors come from the maintenance committee? And if not, explain why they're here.
Mr. C's, because they did not bid on painting, therefore did not qualify.
Well, the bid with Scudgerance.
The bid I had was pressure washing, that's all I had. There was no bid for painting from them. And the bid process, as I was explaining, was painting and pressure washing.
Before we dig that, John, is that your understanding that the bid that Mr. C's put in was just for the pressure washing?
Yeah, but he came with Scudgerance, who is a painter.
Okay, so there was a sort of a joint venture between the two. Okay. That bid, those bids they were provided to Chuck. Okay. Okay.
I did not. All I saw was what the pressure washing. That's why I talked to you.
Okay.
The bid pack 3, 5-star painting, and bid pack 4, AAA Fast Construction were the ones that Jacques submitted from his maintenance committee. And I solicited the other 3. The way I did it, you'll notice on page 1, item 1, PD painting, in the book, please. I gave them all a list of the monuments and the guardhouse and the towers that need to be painted. And asked them to bid each one individually. The 3 bids, Paint Concepts, Mid-South Painting, and PD Painting, all bid exactly the same way. And their bids are accordingly listed on the spreadsheet.
Can I, Jacques?
Yeah, I noticed that on PD painting, on his bid, he doesn't mention the clock tower on Lion Road.
Yes.
I know it's on the spreadsheet, but it's not on his bid.
I was going to get to that, Jacques. caught that as I was putting these books together. He sent me an email. He sent me an email
Can I
with
read this
an
stuff?
updated sheet. I did put the price was placed in his bid pack for that, or in the spreadsheet, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see.
Yes, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but he did send me an updated page one for this, I just didn't have time to get it in the book.
So the total at the bottom is the total for all work,
At the bottom of the spreadsheet.
right, it's the total for all work asked for.
That's right.
So where it says the performance total?
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question, Max. Of the bidders that your committee solicited bids from, do you recall if Five Star Painting was going to be the recommended vendor?
Yeah, because he's not talking about one coat, he's talking about two coat of paint. And by the way, the price we have there is not good, it's $12,595, it's what's right on the bid, yeah. Material, $2,595, labor, $10,000, total $12,595. So the price of those prices change a couple of times. 10,600 wouldn't be good, but he specified two coat of paint.
And that's not accurate, Josh. Number 7 on his list is first coat of paint and volume primer sealer, which is the same as every other vendor. The top coat is the super paint from Sherwin-Williams on 5 Star, on page 1, under number 7 and number 8. So it's the same scope of paint as compared to every other vendor.
Everyone's gonna use a two-coat system.
So these are two coat systems, same areas of paint, same scopes of work, different pricing, basically. And what was the second vendor that the maintenance can be looked at? AAA Fast Construction, was that bid pack 4? No.
AAA is not in the game.
Okay. Was it Mid-South Painting Concepts or PD Painting? Did your committee look at any of those?
I know that he specified in his contract that there is no change of color and there is, this price is per coat. So basically, if his coat, if the paint he's doing is not covering well enough, we would have to pay extra to add some more paint.
Are any of the other 3 vendors, Mid-South, which is bid pack number 5, Painting Concepts, which is bid pack number 2, and PD Painting, bid pack number 1, are any of those 3 vendors that your committee looked at?
No,
Okay.
not the new one. We looked at 5 Star, AA, and RC, Mr. C. That's all we had.
I have another question, because one question that I've got is, do the 5 Star Painting, do we have references for them?
Yeah.
Okay. Chuck, do you have that reference list? Okay.
I have a one-page.
Yeah, can I make a comment while you're
Yes.
doing that? So
Some of them sent some name or job they did, so it just got, is that, it's what you got a reference, I guess that the painting concept and the paintings on the list of reference.
And is 5 Star Painting licensed in your knowledge?
No, PD haven't sent it, they said they are, but we haven't seen, 5 Star they are, they sent all the detail on it.
Yes, they're licensing check.
Okay, because I see license numbers on some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Eric, you had a comment?
So, to my understanding, from what I just heard, 2 of the 5 have actually gone through the maintenance committee, and 3 of the 5 that are on here have not gone through the maintenance committee.
Yeah, Chuck.
Correct.
You can explain why that is.
I was tasked by this board to aid Chuck in soliciting or putting a spreadsheet together. When he sent me the spreadsheet, he had 2 painting companies, 5 Star and AAA. And again, as I read the other, being a pressure wash bid only, I thought that that wouldn't have been suitable I solicited 3 more bids.
So PD, Painting Concepts, and Mid-South, you.
That's correct.
And have you guys used them in any of your properties?
PD Painting and Painting Concepts are both service approved vendors for full service, which means we have their insurance and licensing all on file, it's all up to date, and yes, we have used both of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Do I hear any type of motion on any of these bids?
One more point, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I did speak with Russ, the ARC, and he notified me of the paint color changes that are coming down the pipe from them. He'll have that to me by the beginning of next week. He did not have them now. All 3 of the vendors that I spoke to accepted paint changes as long as they weren't semi-gloss or some kind of weird
All they
color.
want to change it.
Exactly, and none of them are, so they'll paint them whatever color they want. Yeah.
John said one thing, what is the number for 5-star? Is it 10-6?
You mean the bid back?
Yes.
It's bid back number 3.
No,
Yes,
their
I
bid
know.
number is 12-5.
See, according to the book, it's 12.
I tried to decipher it as best as I could, but I believe it was 12 bucks.
So, okay, so it's 12-5.
So it's $5,000 more than Painting Concepts.
Adele is 6 inches.
Adele, who's that?
I have a little bit of stuff.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion, or do you want to just have just
Well,
open discussion?
I mean, I don't think it's my place to make a motion on that. But by looking at the bid package that was put out prior, it seems that PD Painting is very thorough in their bid, in their scope of work, and exactly what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do things, and what we can expect out of the performance. To the point that if they come across cracks that are greater than a 16-inch wide, that they're gonna actually tool them out in a V shape, repop them so that the caulking, the last paragraph they're gonna use is gonna stay that way. It's gonna stay in the groove and in the hole and create the bond that's necessary and whatnot. That's just my observation of going through these. They differentiate between materials of the stucco, the wood, and the metal within the signs and how they handle and address each one. If I was painting my home, you know, that gave me a little bit of a secure feeling and knowing that what needs to be done and how they're going to do it. But again, I'm not on the maintenance committee, so I don't necessarily know that's my place to make a motion about this, but in hearing that our maintenance committee hasn't reviewed these, and part of the purpose of this meeting was for these, and the question is what fear or what prompted us to start soliciting more bids in such a time frame that they didn't get to the maintenance committee? Did we have a communication breakdown on getting the ones that maintenance provided to our property manager, or what transpired to make this happen this way?
The short story is after our meeting here last time, when I believe this board felt like it didn't have enough information to make a decision, I spoke with Josh about getting information to Chuck so that we could put it in a format that would make sense, like this spreadsheet, like this book. And that was, I can't remember my calendar, I'll tell you what date it was, but I think there was some time that passed between the meeting and the information getting to Chuck.
Okay, so we
So
had.
I don't know when the maintenance committee, when was your maintenance committee meeting, Chuck?
It was supposed to be tonight, but I had to take an arrangement with Christine. It was supposed to be changed for the Thursday of the second full week of the month. And I look on the calendar and it's still at the last day, so it's on the 23rd. Hasn't been changed.
Okay, so, yeah, so does that answer the question? There was some delay in getting information to Chuck, and then obviously the.
That makes sense. So we want to, part of the purpose of this.
So the real, before Bob comments, the real question at the end of the day is, how important is this work that it gets done without the maintenance committee looking at these other bids and we're considering one of these other vendors?
That's not my.
Bob?
I'm just looking for some confidence. I don't know. I was shocked. You got somebody you think, look, Katie, you think something's good. I mean, I know nothing about it.
I've used both.
Got both of them.
There's 2 vendors we have both used. I've actually used Mid-South Painting about 5 years ago here in Wellington. I was happy with them, you know, for the most part. But I do do know the first two vendors and I use them regularly.
Okay. Does anybody that read the contract and can compare every single detail of the contract?
I think we need to send it back to the main.
It's nice to have a nice piece of paper with pricing. Gives me a rate.
I think we have,
Here we are.
Eric, let me just finish the comment. Go ahead.
I said it's nice to have a piece of paper with pricing, but it's not price that we're buying. We are having a job done because we want to know exactly who is doing exactly what.
Well,
And when somebody make a restriction and he says, the price is per code only, it's not per surface, I want to know exactly what he means by that. And when the guy says it's 50 square feet of repair, everything else is so much per after that, I want to know exactly what kind of research you made and where we get involved. And when he says that if one code is not covering, then there would be additional charge for either more paint, I want to know exactly what this means. At this point, we don't have any answer.
Before our comments, Chuck, do you have any additional thoughts or response to those issues?
Yeah, I had all those people, the 3 bids that I met with, I had them apply repair issues, stucco, the metal portions of the sign, it's all in there. However, the spreadsheet is a gist. It's all it is a capsule. If I was to put every single price option that they quoted in here, the spreadsheet would be 30 pages long. Basically, this is the price should everything go okay. And obviously, I don't perceive the signs are too damaged or that they require any superficial or massive work. I don't see it.
Okay, so let's have some final comments. Eric? Yes.
Who are you asking that?
Sure.
I'm asking anyone who knows.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We don't, it's the person who is doing the job who's gonna answer that, not any of us.
Okay, Eric, go ahead.
Gotcha.
I think we have more enough information to make an educated decision that a full day to read all of these, they're all pretty similar. If Jacques doesn't have a recommendation to the board, if someone makes a motion to vote on today, I think we have enough information to do that.
Didn't he get
Okay,
a
so this motion.
You ready?
My hands up.
Wanda.
I don't usually like taking the lowest or highest, so I would like to make a motion for PDP restoration and move forward.
Let's get, do we have a second? Okay. Any discussion?
I think that we should go with what the maintenance committee recommended.
Who's that?
So I started.
I haven't heard them.
I hadn't heard that.
I haven't heard that.
No, I haven't.
So we have any other,
Never mind then.
any further discussion?
Jose.
Jose was the second. Okay, all those in favor of accepting the bid from PD Painting Restoration, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Was there abstain? I think there was abstaining.
I didn't hear.
Everybody approved unanimously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I abstain.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't hear a name or anything. That's fine. Okay. Social committee, the last time we were here, we tabled the discussion on two-way radio purchase, and there was some discussion about whether Mike could provide a loaner in the interim, so where does that stand?
Well, I did go online because Costco doesn't have twos. We're looking for 6s or 8s and so this is just there's 3. I did Uniden, Bang is one, and then Motorola. We're looking for at least 6 or 8. And these are basically you can, we're looking at around $110. There are differences in the specs. The Uniden goes 16 miles, not the, I don't know if you really need 16 miles.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and 22 channels, it's battery. And then we have the second one, which goes 4 miles, has 16 channels, and it's a charger. So it seems like the options were, do you want batteries or charger? And someone who has some walkie-talkies, I talked to Mike, and he looked at some of these, and he says he actually